Tell them run it up. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get worried. One false move, find yourself there getting buried. Dance with the devil, used to love playing those games. Made some bad decisions that brought my mama pain. I made a promise to her, swore that I would change. I'm on the come up, bet I live up to my name. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. Plain on my wrist, for real. LV on my chick, for real. Waco taking risks, for real. Went through hell to get to this, for real. I'm not puzzle making lists, for real. I stay low and stack my chips, for real. You keep looking for a flip, for real. That's not wealth, that's rich, for real. 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 Really real. Really real. Really real. Really real. For real. For real. For real. For real. No liens on the whip, for real. I get bored, I take a trip, for real. Take a loss, I never trip, for real. Been in shock, I'm not a lick, for real. Don't trust the soul, it's on my hip, for real. Make a move and you get hit, for real. No pictures by the crib, for real. Can't let them know just where I live, for real. 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 Really real. Really real. Really real. Really real. For real. For real. For real. For real. Plain Jane on my wrist, for real. LV on my chick, for real. Waco taking risks, for real. Went through hell to get to this, for real.
Good morning all. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is good. Happy Tuesday. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let me see, all systems are go. We do look good. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Morning. Start off here with the news, guys. Let's have a look. Today we do have some GBP news. Go to calendar, please. Let's have a look here if we can load. There we go. Perfect. Today is Tuesday. We do have claim and count change. So pretty simple one here. This is basically people claiming unemployment. It's not the actual unemployment. It's people who claimed unemployment. And yeah, numbers come back, less. It's obviously going to be better as employment is doing better. Number comes back worse. It's going to do worse for the GBP here. So if we're looking at what's going on with the pound overall here, and do the analysis here. So if we can actually get positive news here, should send this up here. If we get negative news, meaning more people claim unemployment, we should end up seeing a little bit more of a pullback here. So let's go ahead and do the analysis, run down the full analysis here. Start on the weekly here. As you can see, weekly time frame, since we didn't do weekly time frame close doji here, we're still respecting this weekly high. So when we break this weekly high, I expect there to be continuation here. We have broken current weekly high, which is nice. Looking at daily, we have a very nice daily candle close, breakout close above the range here. Over Asian session, we did manage to break the previous daily high here, but close 4-hour candles bearish. So very interesting to see how prices formed in that sense there. Now if we go into 4-hour time frame, yesterday I was actually trying to look to see after this candle here closes if I can get a continuation play, but failed to break the high here, and then ended up breaking it over Asian session, which was about, time did that break, 3 a.m. my time. So I went to sleep and I didn't want to leave buy stops or anything like that, because with market open spread, it can trigger you even when price is down here. So you need to be very careful with that type of stuff. But I was hoping literally this candle open, make a bottom wick, and then I leave a 4-hour position to continue overnight, but never came through. But that's actually good for us right now. Now we have a pullback to play with. And this is going to be extremely beneficial here for us. So it did break high at 10:30. I don't think it did, man. I have it on my broker here. Let's have a look. Nah, that's respecting. See, even if it's a little bit lower, look at 4-hour here. Look how that's lower than the candle, you see? Then after 3 a.m. broke the high, but this is lower. I'm pretty sure I saw. And then at market open, yeah, I'm zoomed in, bro. Look, you can see. So yeah, respecting the high there. We'll need to see if we're able to now create supports to continue up. But it's nice to see to get these pullbacks here. Now the question is, can we respect these supports here, or are we just going to be boring? And are we going to get the same pattern we've been getting here? Check this out. Are we going to get these type of patterns here where we have a breakout candle close, next daily pullback, stays inside the range, and then we continue up, right? So is this just going to slowly make its way up instead of an explosive move up? Is going to be the question here. It's going to be the question. Are we going to slowly make our way up, or are we going to be able to explode today? Which is going to be interesting to see, right? So now if we go down onto the 4-hour time frame, we can see previous 4 hours closing bearish here. So we have bearish 4-hour candle closes, not created support yet. So mixed session bias today. Technically, sells could make sense, even though I am primarily bullish here. Would have been nice to see this candle form support and come in with a full bullish bias today. Would have been pretty straightforward here, looking for supports to buy. So if we bring back drawings here, make sure everything is good. Let's have a look here. This old 4-hour support, let's make sure we mark it as previous. So P4-hour support, daily resistance should be correct. Yeah, daily resistance is correct. Are we able to explode today? I don't know. We'll have to see how price action forms, hopefully. Looks like we want to make a retest down here to 847. 847 potential retest zone here. Want to see if that's anything on lower time frame. We have a 1-hour support where we're sitting at right now. 1S. 30-minute, same. 15-minute, a little bit lower. We can mark the 15 like this, just make it overall, make it like that, /15, because we know that zone. There we go. And yeah, that's what we're looking for here, to see if what we can do at this little support here, to be honest. mixed bias session here. News is coming out in about 18 minutes. So 18 minutes we have news coming out. Now typically with the way I've seen news coming out at London, unless we get rates actually drastically different, I don't expect there to be too big of a move. Max I've been seeing is around 30 pips here. 30 pips is what I've been seeing, unless we get drastically big difference in moves here. So this is what I'm going to be looking for, is to see basically how news reacts. Do we react to the downside, fill in some of this zone, clean up this LTA, or do we actually start making our way towards the upside? This would be a prime area to get a little bit of a change of structure, to take buys with higher time frame in mind, that hey, we should be able to form support and continue out of here with the daily close. If GJ just wants to be extremely boring and do what it did and come back in the range on this daily candle here and start ranging more, then you know that's gonna be basically a little bit unlucky. But we don't know that right now. There is volume in the market. We are seeing selling pressure at the moment here, and you know, this is what we have to be careful for. I mean, if this candle in Asian did close above here, I think that would be a straightforward Asian play here to get the candle close above. But respecting this resistance, I do believe something leaving this here, even on 15 we have clean candles at least back up to 800. So in the future as well, that zone being left is going to be, I would expect a strong move above that zone. But the goal is going to be to try trade to that zone, is obviously going to be the goal at the moment. So these sells here, I want to mark out this 4-hour support here is going to be very difficult to sell into. It's going to be very difficult to sell into this 4-hour support. Yeah, that's literally right there. That's literally right there. Yeah, it's a tough zone to sell into, even though it looks clean on 30-minute, 1 hour, but on 4-hour, this is why higher time frame analysis is important. It's actually not the cleanest here. It's actually a strong support zone in here. So as much as I would want to sell into that, I don't really want to sell directly into this support here. I feel like this is where you're gonna get beat up by the market. You'll get clapped here. So realistically, I would love to see buys actually from this zone here, and 4-hour to respect the structure down here and start to see the buys out of this zone back up. So it'd actually be quite nice to see that, and hopefully make a new higher low here. So we have a higher high on 4-hour. Hopefully we can make a higher low and continue up bullish here. So I'd actually be looking for that, to be honest, today. That's my more primary. The sells I'm not too convinced on. If we're gonna sell, maybe I want to see price pull back to daily resistance, find problems at daily resistance, and then we look to sell back down to the previous 4-hour support, but not selling into the previous 4-hour support, if you understand what I mean. So that's kind of what I'm looking for now. Let's move on to GU here and have a look at what GU is saying here. So GU is still in this choppy range, man. We're still in this choppy range on GU, and yeah, it's just still getting tough here. I wonder what we're gonna do. Are we gonna be able to break through? If we get a deep candle closing below here on GU, it's pretty open, man, and especially below this daily resistance here, previous one. It's pretty clean sailing, and you could see a pretty heavy drop over a couple of days here, especially if UK start to position into a point. I mean, I do expect pound weakness to start soon, just based off interest rate reductions going to be started, so we can definitely see that start to come into play. In terms of 4-hour here, we have previous daily bearish, previous 4-hour bearish as well. 4-hour doesn't really have a top wick here, which is not the best. We're pretty close to 4-hour support, which is right here. Again, the way I would trade GU right now is I would look to trade in pullback phases, not continuation phases, especially so low in the range. So you'd want to see a pullback set up too, and then look for the sells for continuation. Selling right now at the lows here is going to be probably the worst place to sell. Majority of the move happened over Asian. I would say your selling options is these type of closures, these continuations. So right now, looking for a sell, it's really tough. I mean, how big is that range till here? About 4 pips, you know, so it's probably the end of the move here in terms of inside of this range. But again, look at GU, we've been in a very tight range here. If price wants to break it today with news, we'll see. News will impact GU here, so we'll be able to see. Now, gold. Let's have a look at what gold is doing. Gold stayed in the range from yesterday to today. We tried to break out. We tapped 4-hour resistance and failed. This news yesterday came here with the tensions in the Middle East here. What is that? A 1 hour? Tensions in the Middle East caused this news effect here. We're looking at daily time frame here. Daily time frame kind of closed doji. I want to see how that looks on my broker because we have a bit of gap on Awanda. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Daily. Yeah, so daily just closed typical bearish candle. It's just a bearish candle close here on my broker. That's how it's looking. So bearish candle close, at least we have that information now. And if we look at 4 hour, 4 hours also closing bearish, no top wick. We have a 4-hour support right here, so we can clone this one. Can bring this up to here to mark the 4-hour support. There we go. So if sells are going to make sense today, let's have a look at the lower time frame ranges. Bit of 1 hour support we're sitting at right now. 30 minutes. Oof. It's a bit tough today with cascading supports. FXCM better for gold? No, it's really bad for gold. Last time, you weren't there when FXCM manipulated us? On broker, on all other brokers, it tapped support. FXCM didn't tap support and came back. Luckily, I closed at break even because I saw something I didn't like on lower time frame. But when I checked all other brokers, it had tap support. 3 hours later, when we refreshed the chart, suddenly FXCM tapped support. Suddenly. You know, suddenly they readjusted. So yeah, looking at gold sells today, we don't have mixed bias. You know, I do expect top wick, you know, does make sense to make a top wick here on gold. To be honest, with gold potential I'd be, look, we are sitting at 4-hour support right now as well. Realistically, we need price to pull back here, create resistance like GU and continue down. To be honest, Asian kind of gave the push through this range. This close below here gave the push to fill this range here. And then the close below here gave the close, right? You can see this. Let me teach you guys. You can see close below here gave to fill the next range. Now, our next range we have is not really till all the way down here because this is very, very tight in here. So realistically, what we want to do is we want to come back here, create some sort of resistance, grab liquidity as well to continue down bearish and retest these lows. That's exactly what I'm going to be looking for if I want to continue price bearish here. And could end up being quite nice as we've seen a lot of resistances form in this area here. You can see a lot of highs have been formed here, so we could get the same thing. So this is what we'd have to look for, and then we can take it from there. Now, if we're going to go look at, well, to wrap everything up with DAX here as well. Yesterday pushed on all-time highs, still pushing on all-time highs. Let's remove drawings here, see where we are. Yeah, we're still all-time highs, current daily candle. No bottom wick here on daily candle. I assume the same on 4. No, 4 almost made one. Candle's getting weaker. Yeah, very strong push here. So bottom wick would be nice, which will be the yellow line to make a bottom wick on the daily. Probably will happen with the way things are forming at the moment. Let's go mark this. Yeah. 1 hour resistance. See what we got. So I think DAX plan is pretty straightforward. You'd want to be seeing either it attempts all-time highs again today and you're trading all-time highs, set up once, or we pull back, retest this support here, make a bottom wick while we're at it. It would make sense to, and then continue bullish, right? And then look for kind of change of structure on lower time frame here, maybe above this 5-minute support for buys, something like that. That's what I'd be looking for on DAX. Kind of more postured on the buy side until we at least break some sort of 1 hour structure or 30-minute structure. We have broken this 15-minute structure here, so short term we'll probably end up in a range, but knowing how London can be, we can have a big be a big influx of volume here that literally pushes us through the range, and we can break through and potentially trade all-time highs, which you can see the reaction from yesterday. Kind of similar, right? Break structure, form a little bit of a range, boom, big breakout. Break structure, form a little of a range, boom, big breakout. Potential potential, right? So that's something. I mean, you just need 2 lines, to be honest. That's all-time high trading. No need much more, many more lines at all-time highs. And yeah, just keep an eye on that and see if volume wants to come through. So let's see news here in about 10 minutes. We have created support on the 15-minute here. This would look nice if we got this candle closing bearish and next one closing bullish. I'd be interested in buys. Only issue is we have news, so we need to be careful with that. News gonna come out, yeah, in about 8 minutes now, and we'll see what happens. So hope you guys enjoyed the analysis, understood stuff, learned something new, and let's get it. Today's 15th of October. What did I write? 14th? Yeah, my bad. Thank you. So yeah, you know what to do, guys. If you enjoyed the analysis, let's do the YouTube business. Hate to say it, but part of the game. Let's get 100 likes. You guys know the drill. So let me put in the chat. Did you guys trade bank holiday yesterday? How was it? I looked over the markets. GJ, I didn't see any options the whole day. When I recapped yesterday, I didn't see any options the whole day. Only options I saw is maybe this very late around, you know, New York here, late NYSE, I guess. But there was probably just this thunderstorm, the only option there, to be honest, but it pushed pretty hard. But during London yesterday, nothing during London, right? We just stayed in this range. We tried to break out. Maybe you could argue this, but then this wick is really long. This wick is really long here, and then liquidity grabbed. So I wonder if you would have just went break even, 10 pips for 10 pips. Yeah, otherwise I don't really see too much. Gold as well. Gold, I think these sells here around New York session did make sense. These were actually pretty smooth sells here. Stop loss above the highs. 35 pips gave you about 45 pip move. So I think that was nice to see. But that New York, again, London, nothing. London, nothing in terms of big moves here. We did just push out with one candle, came back, had a reaction, and then failed. I don't have the normal music on. Oh damn, let me check some settings. Yeah, it seems like it was turned off. Should be working now. Made a small GJ scalp yesterday during London. Yeah, I wonder what you took. Would be interesting. London was a little bit rangy here. I guess if you tried to catch some of this continuation, yes. But not really massive moves. We are exactly where we were yesterday in London. So keep that in mind. Very interesting thing. Look what happened yesterday, London. Can we get the same? I really hope news doesn't ruin and send one candle up towards the upside. So it'd be really unlucky here. But you don't know with news. It could be 50-50 right now. The same candle can come towards the downside. The good thing is if we get the candle towards the downside, it will allow us to trade the upside later. Also, if it wants to resolve towards the downside, which I mean, it completely just wants to start moving down through the ranges, we have mixed session bias. We can start looking for those setup twos from down here to start selling. I traded US30. I was actually looking at US30 yesterday. I keep an eye on it. It had a very nice move yesterday. This 15-minute close above here. It was very simple move. Setup number 1. Very nice move. After liquidity grab and then close above here. 5-minute even gave a thunderstorm here. If you look, well, a sort of, it was a thunderstorm. So this was a very simple move, and wow. Did that have continuation in her? Yes. it had very heavy continuation. So very nice move, to be honest. 2000 pip move. Bringing you into all-time high. So kind of like DAX, right, where we're sitting at, but this looks more bullish at the moment. Now, bit of weakness coming through, right? You can see candles starting to chill out. Right, 3 minutes till news. Let's see what happens. I'm just gonna go to the bottom before news and let's see. What about gold? We spoke about gold selling ranges. We don't have much selling ranges, so we'll have to see how gold forms. Maybe pullbacks to continue down. We'll see. We'll see with just news here in a minute. About 1 minute till news. Let's see, guys. News up or down? Write in chat. Let's start seeing in chat. Come on. Let's see it. Up or down? What are we expecting? I want to see what we see more of. News up or down? Let's see. Two people saying down. Dave saying up. Okay. Nothing? Okay, that's interesting. Nothing. I kind of like that idea. Down. Up or down? I'm seeing more up. Yeah, more people saying up. So I guess up is winning right now. I hope nothing, because then it allows us to take buys. If it pushes up, then we can't really take buys. It will go down. Someone's saying down. Well, 20 seconds here. News about what? Right now we have unemployment rate, UK unemployment rate. Make sure you're managing positions if you're in short-term scalps. You could be stopped out. I've taken a long trade. Well, I hope you have a plan and good stop loss. All right, pushing up here, not too much. I'm interested in the rate. Oh, flip down. Numbers I don't see out yet. So nothing really happening. 4, okay, 0.1. So unemployment rate a little bit better than expected. So that's why we're seeing small pump up. Like I said recently, London news has just not been news. It's not been news. It's not been something too crazy. But yeah, I mean, we definitely do have a move now at least. And we can trade without any worries here, right? So it's hard because what can happen is we can see, yeah, a little bit worse numbers actually in terms of people claiming unemployment, a little bit higher number of people claiming unemployment, which is not the best. The reason why is that we want to have a strong employment market in order for interest rates not to be reduced. So if you want the pound to be strong, then you need employment to be doing well here. So this is kind of indicating pound to have the interest rate reduction to help the economy, but it's nothing major, to be honest, because it's not drastic numbers we're seeing of differences. I mean, it's pretty normal to have differences in numbers, pretty normal to see numbers fluctuate a little bit, you know. So Yeah, now let's see what ends up happening. So news is done. Now we have to create a plan. We have to create a plan on how to trade this type of move here. So let's go back to a higher time frame, see how the 1 hour closed. Rejection wick at the moment. We're in a bit of a downtrend. We're in a bit of a downtrend, which makes things tough for us today, right? Still 4 hours in a uptrend, okay, which is nice. We're in a downtrend on 1 hour. We're in a downtrend on 30-minute here, lower highs and lower lows. So this could potentially make a lower high again, continue down to retest the lows. But we have reached a target here. So we need to, I'm just running through what's going through my head. Yeah, it makes it tough, to be honest, makes it tough. Ideally, the best case scenario here would be, what makes it really nice is to see price come down, form support, and then we buy up there. Like I would like to take buys, to be honest. It would be something I'm interested in, but I also have to remember that GJ is not in a buying thing higher time frame. It's not like before when we were completely bullish. It's a little bit different. A little bit different. Then short it. Yeah, I mean, we could short it as well. We do have mixed bias today. We just have to see resistance obviously formed here, right? We need to see resistance formed. Or it can just do what it did last London, get stuck in this range. Very possible. Very possible to just form another range here, and then New York, we get the move up like we've been seeing last week, and we continue that trend of London range, New York breakout. And you'll just take the setup one in New York. If this creates resistance here, and then we start to break out, boom, you'll just take the buys in New York and leave runners for that. Would actually be something I do, you know. How you flip the charts? Alt-I. I like to look at the charts upside down to view it as a buying option, because I see buys better than sells. I can spot buys way easier than I can spot sells. Told you down? Well, there you go, right? Went down. What you told me. DAX made bottom wick and daily bounce. Very good. Now it needs some sort of support or something like that, right? Now it's Frankfurt open as well. We'll have a look at Mr. Dex. So this is that point about bottom wicks being made, right? This is that point about bottom wicks being made. Literally that video I posted yesterday, day before yesterday, explained about bottom wicks, right? It explained about bottom wicks and why you need a bottom wick to be made, right? Trade explains no wick candles, why I wait for a wick before entering. Prime example, you try to enter buys before this wick has a high chance to make a wick. We have made the wick now, so I'd love to see a support formed, obviously, would be step number one. Now, in the process of making a wick, it has broken structures just ever so slightly on 15-minute, but we have grabbed liquidity. So ideally, we want to see a change of structure on 5, just so we get out of this 5-minute downtrend where we're making these small highs, because this could do this. So what we get is we get bearish candle close bullish above. That would be your buying option there to try break through the range. If it doesn't give you that, then I guess you're trading all-time high would be the other option there. Now also depending on how 15-minute candle closes, right? 15-minute candle closes something like this would be okay. Gold sell, let's see how gold did. Yeah, not yet. Gold is bouncing up here. How did the 1 hour candle close? Yes, rejection from the 1 hour support at the moment. So we need to see, this is where gold can form that setup number 2, resistance, to look for those sells that you guys are talking about, right? So especially retesting the 4 hour, right? Retesting this 4 hour, a little bit higher actually, the 4 hours here. But this one seems a little bit more relevant because of all of our supports sitting here. So if we can retest here, same time grab liquidity, same time form a resistance, we can attempt to let gold come down towards the downside here. Hello, good morning. Can you give any idea about oil, please? I took a buy position until 73 to 60. Just because you said please, and I don't mind looking at oil, we can see. So you took a buy to 73. But where's your buy from? If your buy is at 73, yeah, not looking good, unfortunately, my friend. We've broken structure towards the downside. We're actually coming back to my alert here, which is my zone, which I would be more interested in, you know, for looking for buys out of. So, yeah, man, daily candles closing bearish. Yeah, it's not looking the best from where you are right now. I feel your last level of support here is going to be this 4 hour. If we break the 4 hour, high chance we're coming down to the next one, which is going to be here. But I think it's a bit early to look for higher time frame buys from here as we reach the target, which is very important. Understanding when prices reach the target, to look for that continuation to target is going to be very tough, you know. I took from 71 540, nevertheless, okay, 71, so you're still in drawdown. What's your plan, man? I don't know anything about your trade stop loss, but if you want me to do an analysis, you can obviously weekly candle close with the rejection wick, currently retesting here. If you look at daily time frame, there's no supports created yet, so we need supports to be created. Higher lows, 4 hours working on lower high, right? We can see lower high, lower low right now. 4 hour support is next target, so somewhere in here, if it can consolidate, it could potentially bounce. That would be the time to attempt to try buy, because now you've created supports. But right now where it is, no. If you took the buys from here and you didn't take profit up here, that's just greed. That's just greed. That's something you need to work on. Thanks, man. All good, man. All good. A lot of people are going to try sell below these lows, but I don't know if I'm sold that it's going to do it. That 4 hour support there could be crucial. Now, once we clear this 4 hour support, hell yeah. Hell yeah, it makes sense to sell. Play on words, yeah. You caught on that, huh? Caught up on that. Good, good, good. So gold here. Pretty strong reaction from around this 4 hour support zone we're seeing. You can see how you know, big bullish 5-minute candle compared to a weak one here. So it normally indicates some form of a short-term low, which is obviously made obvious once that candle's closed. So in order to mitigate that, we need a resistance. Alright, what was the yellow line on the oil chart? That's daily open. That's just a setting on Tradingview. If you right click settings, scale and lines, previous daily close, you can turn it on. You can turn it on. Previous daily close. Line, you can choose whatever you want it to be. Line, value, whatever. I keep it as line. I just like to know where the previous daily close. If we're above the yellow line, daily candle is bullish. We're below the yellow line, daily candle is bearish. And what's interesting is sometimes we find support and resistance around that zone. Can you see that? Support was found after daily opened. Support was found on top of it when we broke below. So it's interesting. I feel like GJ gonna fake out sell. I think the sells have already happened over Asian, to be honest. Actually, one of the guys in the group did end up taking that over Asian with mixed bias session. Took those sells there. 4 hour on gold making a top wick for us, hopefully retest 4 hour and then we take the sells. Yeah, it would be something like that. Man even give me special to read. He gave me italicized. Is that how you say it? Italic text. Forgot. Only now I remember it as I. Man, I need 1 hour rest because I was working all night, but I can't. Then just go take rest, man. It doesn't change anything. I'll tell you one thing. You're better off taking a rest than trying to push through and making a mistake in the markets, because yeah, you can't take a rest now, but it will feel even shittier to make a mistake and lose money. And then this is where your emotions crack, to be honest, is when you're not in the right conditions. You know, it can all get to your head and you can feel extremely emotional about the situation, which is exactly what you don't want. So just go take a rest. Shit, my accident? Nah, it's cool, man. I like it. I like it. Took some sells. Let's have a look at these sells here. Resistance, rejections. Okay, you took it after the pullback. Very interesting here. Yeah, I like that. That's actually, it's much safer to take this type of move in Asian than to take a continuation, because even, let's say you get pushed in profit, like, I'll teach you something insane between continuation trades and pullback trades. Check this out. When you have a continuation trade and you're looking to sell the lows, your entry is at the lowest point that the market has currently been at that time. So any pullbacks from that zone is going to put you in drawdown. You're going to be put in drawdown. But when you're buying after pullbacks, you're buying practically at a discount from the lowest point the market has been. So if you're convicted that price is going to continue down, then selling on pullbacks is going to give you a good opportunity. Because if we look at it like this, right? Let me show you how selling on pullbacks. Let's go take an example of something like this. So think about it like price right here, right? You can think about it. Price right here is at its most expensive price, right? This is, yeah, similar. Yeah, exactly. But so I want to use a prop because I can make a clip out of this, but I don't have any props. So we'll just have to make a clip with nothing. So think about the lowest point in the market as basically, well, not the lowest point, but if you sell continuation, you are selling, right, the lowest point that the market has been at that current time. Now, if the market decides to pull back, you're immediately in drawdown. For the market to put you in profit, what does it have to do? It has to make new lows, which won't necessarily happen without volume and conviction of price continuing in that direction. So if you allow pullbacks to happen and are convinced that price is going to continue in a certain direction for that day, which means having a bias, then you are basically selling at a discount. If you're selling at a discount, what is that going to allow you to do? Even if price comes somewhat close to that low, you're already in profit, and you will spend most of your time in profit, or maybe ranging between profit and drawdown until something happens, until price decides to make a move, right? So it's actually a nicer position to hold overall long term. So this is why I always encourage people who are trading in like trying to hold a trade during the day. You know, it's always better not to hold a trade during the day, selling the lowest point of the day, you know. But sometimes you don't get that luxury of pullbacks, right? It's not always the case. So you have to be adaptive as a trader, because some days price will just want to continue. I was not convinced of anything. Actually, I just saw rejection of the top of the range. Yeah, then it's a bit of an unplanned position, random position. You have to have an analysis. You have to have a conviction that price is broke structure towards the downside. 4-hour candles are closing bearish right now. We could definitely see at least a retest down to the bottom of the range, right? That's what you have to have a conviction of, that the retest would come through. Once you get the rejection, it creates a target. You look to entertain that target again. So if you weren't convicted of anything, random trade, bad trade. shouldn't repeat it again. Right? If you weren't convicted. But for me, it's clear. Clear price broke out a structure, never managed to break highs, and then continued down. I consider that pullback to be possible, but not convicted. Then it's a bad trade, right? But all of the stuff you wrote here should keep you convicted. I don't think it's a bad trade personally, but if you know, then it shouldn't have been taken. My point is that if you didn't see it, you have to be like that in the markets. Because the minute you get uncomfortable in a position because you're not convicted, it becomes extremely, extremely, you know, bad. Because you lose trust, and once you lose trust, then your mindset, your mental capacity is gonna go. Right? You're gonna break because you didn't trust the position to begin with. So if the position starts doing stuff that you don't want it to do, you're immediately gonna put yourself in an emotional situation. But if you trusted the position, then you trust probabilities. You're sitting in the position saying, I have stuff on my side, I have my analysis on my side, probabilities on my side, I follow the process and see what happens. See what I'm saying? It's a big difference. I fully trusted it, but not convicted of the general direction, just trusted a particular move. That is being convicted, man. You're making it way too complex. Way too complex. All right, did we get the top wick on the 4 hour? Almost, guys. Almost got the top wick on the 4 hour here. Are you full traders or do you have a job? What do you define full traders? Or you mean full-time trader? Yeah, if you consider trading full-time, for sure. I do spend a lot of my day, but not. You don't need to be a 9 to 5 or a 12-hour job. Trading's not a 12-hour job. It's merely a, I'd say, a 4-hour job. Anything over 4 hours, you don't really need to do. I think you could have a successful. But the thing is, it's not hands-on time. Like, you can make a plan, right? You can make a plan and you can come back. You give that swing a shot. Which one? Which one? Which one? DJ, yeah, but which swing? Which swing? The shorts from up from the top of... we didn't reach my zone yet for that. That's up here. That I'm looking for up here. So we have some time. Some time. What's the logic behind top wick? Watch my recent video, you'll find out. You'll find out. This video, no wick candles. My recent video is going to explain that. I'll even do you a favor and send you. Which GJ? Or the one yesterday you're talking about, the one we spoke in London, if the 4 hours to close? Yeah, I was looking at that. Waited for an hour, but never broke the high. Never broke the high and then was too late. It was coming back up here, 1 a.m. I went to sleep at around 10:30. 10:30 went to sleep. That was it. Then it did break it over Asian session, but I don't leave buy stops close to entry because market open spread will trigger you. It's very dangerous. Limits, yes, but stops, buy stops and stuff, you want to be super careful with that stuff. On gold, can you see a good probability that this 15 flips bullish to create 4-hour top wicks and push through our Asian session LTA? I mean, it depends, right? We don't. It's weird that it's so close to it and doesn't want to make a top wick. It would make sense for it to make a top wick, you know. 4-hour has a nipple. If you zoom in, let's have a look. Yeah, I'll check my broker just so we can cross-check it. These days we kind of have to do that these days. Let's have a look. Yeah, there is a nipple on mine as well. So I guess there is a 4-hour top wick. So it's going to be a matter of, you know, creating resistance here. And if it gives us a deeper one, then there's no harm, right? There's no harm with a deeper top wick. All right. Coming back to that previous 4-hour support here, let's see if there's a reaction of the previous 4-hour support. If there is a reaction of this previous 4-hour support and we fake out back inside the range, I do think we can look for buys back above 195. Even though it is a riskier option, that would just be me saying, hey, price is now retested, look for that bounce. Problem is we have a lot of clean zones down here, so it might want to fully get rid of that, but you don't know right now. You don't know, so we'll see. It's very close to it. I would be very surprised if it rejected right where it is right now before testing that. Would make sense for it to test. Hello, is it worth it to create an offshore company for Forex in Dubai? Do you know by any chance if it's zero tax for companies? Also, thank you in advance. Why would you need, I mean offshore, you mean offshore from your country, not offshore from Dubai. Yeah, I mean, I have a company here, and if you live in Dubai, you actually don't need a company to Forex trade. You can bring the money directly into your bank account because it's considered investment. There's no income tax, there's no capital gains tax, so you won't be charged for that stuff. That's basically it, to be honest. If you want to create a company just for your own reasons, then yeah, you have corporate tax, but you have to reach a threshold. You also have VAT. Those are the two taxes. Corporate tax is 9% here, but that's about it. But you have a threshold, and the threshold is pretty generous. If you're a new business, you have to be making a profit of 3 million for SME relief package. Can a foreigner open a bank account in Dubai? If you have a residency visa, yes, you can open a bank account. So you need to either get a job here or you need to open a business here and be, you know, half in, half out of the country, if that makes sense. You know, 6 months of the year, stay here, and then you can open a bank account, yes. What is my tribe? What do you mean by my tribe? First time trading news, so scary, I'll not do it again. Yeah, I don't think you should trade news. It's not a good habit unless you typically want to gamble. The only time you can trade news, is if you're in a higher time frame position and just holding. Like if you're swing trading, you literally cannot avoid news. Like swing trades, news is going to help to your advantage. So whenever I'm in a swing trade, I don't worry about news. And because your stops are so big anyways, you know. Well, not so big, but they're bigger. Took that gold flip. Yeah, we're at resistance right now. So this is the spot where now we do have a deeper top wick. Just be careful taking that, man, at resistance, you know. You have to really consider what's the point, especially when we tap the second resistance here. Unless your literal scalp was to get from point A to point B here, with 6 pips. But still, that's always risky to try that type of stuff. Based on 1 hour, you still have room though. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. Maybe 5-minute close above or break of high. But we'll see. You have 3 minutes. Does a bottom bar act like a support and resistance? Bottom wick? No. Yes. in a sense, yes, but it acts more like a rejection spot. So it acts more like a rejection spot. So yes and no to answer your question. So price just grabbed liquidity from these lows here. We're trying to get back inside the range here. Could be interesting, could be interesting. How's DAX doing? Oh wow, 5 minutes straight pushes through here. Very good. How did 15 close though? Was there an opportunity there? Not really. So immediately bounce from that daily support, right? Straight bounce, not really follow. Now I guess all-time highs is going to be in the cards here. See how 5 minute looks at all-time highs. Yeah. Guess you could look for a close above this 5 resistance to tap the next 5 resistance up here if you're looking at lower time frames. 15 close above can supersede that. Use it as a watch, wick fill target, which is the same, because these candles are wicks on higher time frame. I mean, these wicks are candles on higher time frame. Can we take a buy on GJ? I'm looking at it, but you would be taking more of an intraday buy. Intraday buy would be this. One minute, no structure. Yeah, if this can retest deep, that's probably how you get your buys out of here. But again, it will be intraday, unless there's just some massive volume that comes in for London. If massive volume comes in for London, then yeah, you could probably get out of this move fast. Check GU. What happened with GU? What's going on with GU? It looks good, but this would be counter trend, right? Not counter trend, sorry, counter bias. Like, I see the setup, it looks nice for sure. But counter, I just don't trust GU in these ranges, man. Like, look at where you're trying to trade GU. It's a very shitty zone. I think there's better pairs to be trading. Setup 4 could make sense. GU closing back below. Could be, yes. I'm looking for retracement on GU, then to sell. I can see that. I can see that because of bias today. So if GU wants to make it back up to this zone here and then create resistance, sells could make sense. I definitely can see that. Same thing with gold. Now gold tapped the 1 hour here as well. 1 hour, 4 hour tapped. If now price wants to create resistance, can also sell. If price wants to get back inside the range here, then yeah, that's something different. London has been pretty slow, maybe New York. We'll see, we'll see. I'm just trying to figure out how can we buy GJ. Obviously 1 hour setup 2s could be good. Problem is, does price want to fake out like it's been doing, right? Look at this. We can have this again. It's just how price has been. Out for 0.75 on gold. Oh, that's nice. Came back in the range for you. All right, all right. Yeah, that 30 close. That 30 close was the one. See how it closed above? If it closed below this, maybe yes. So your video on no wick candles, great stuff. I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like that. Seems like this was not a bad idea here. 7 pips for 23. I was looking at this range. See if we could get something closing above the range. Same thing on 1 minute we have here, right? If we get stuck in this range. I was even looking if we can get 1 minute candle closing above, I think would be enough. Because you want that liquidity grab to give you the juice. This could still end up into a lower high right now. And then just would have come back to tap you out break even after 10 pips. What's the opposite of greed in trading? Fear. Fear would be the opposite of greed. Great answer. Genius, to be honest. Not really, man. Harry, give us a motivational speech. They happen naturally, man. You just have to show up to stream and you'll get those motivational speeches. It's not motivation, it's just based on topics. Like, we speak about it. It's kind of like, you know, it's just kind of how it works. It's how it works. Like, you can't force those things. You can't force those things. You have to just speak them naturally. I mean, of course, if I planned a speech, I can do it as well. But, you know, it's how it is. I'm waiting for resistance on gold and waiting for London session. London is open. We get volume during this time. But yeah, London open does come in around 20 minutes here. Yesterday on gold, we did see around London open volume come through. I want to see what GJ did around London open, how much volume we had. 11, 11, 11. Where are you? Yeah, that's the London open candle, this next one here. So not too much, not too much. Spike up, spike down, but then after London we did get that continuation. That's where that continuation came through, right? That's where that continuation came through. Any entry on gold? I really need to recover. What if you enter and lose again? What if you enter and lose again? You can't go with the mindset that, hey, my next entry is going to recover my losses. The only thing that's going to recover your losses is the skill of having a plan and the skill of understanding what's happening. It's not that you're just going to come and then the next trade you're going to recover everything. That's just gambling. That's like going all in and hoping for the best. You're just going to burn either way at some point. I'll give you 3 months, maybe 3 months, and you burnt. That's how that shit works. Mr. Sharp, do you know Tetra FX? Both of you similar style to Raja Banks. Please correct me if I'm wrong. No, I don't. And no, I trade a little bit different than Raja Banks, but we all trade price action, me and Raja, and you will be slightly similar, right? It's like someone doing the bench press. You don't go and claim that if your best friend taught you how to bench press, you don't go to a random stranger and tell that stranger, hey, you know, you're copying my friend on how to bench press. Like there isn't. There's a similar way, you know. Harry, give us Mel Gibson Braveheart freedom speech. Damn. Actually, I could use a good example to explain that. Before every entry. Imagine. Fully prepped before every entry. So I think the gold sells today would make sense below here. That's one spot. Something closing below there. Now buys, option buys. I mean, it sounds crazy, but buying from this spot here as well would be okay. Harry, do you think it's wise to let your rat trade for you? Probably not, bro. Probably not. Harry, how do I manage closing a winning trade out of fear? Have a TP level and set it at TP, you know? Trying to improve my journal, need a little help. Keep it as simple as possible. The more complicated you make your journal, the worse. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people, they overcomplicate journals. Journals should be very simple. 5 things to look at while managing. Tensioned, detached, emotional versus analytical. Greed level, need 2 more. For me, it's too complex. It's too complex. If I was you, I would not do it like that. For me, the way I would journal is I would literally put the trade in, put why I took it, traded with that process, and in a note put how I felt with it. I need to monitor my process in emotions. Yeah, but it's too complex. You're not going to monitor everything. You're going to be so focused on this, on emotions, you're going to forget about technicals. Then you're going to start focusing on technicals, you're going to forget about emotions. Like, that's really how it works. You just have to go straight forward and say, I'm taking this trade. I'm going to make sure that I do my best ability. Like, before every trade, you're going to do your best ability in all aspects of trading. And if you're not, then don't take the trade. So before you literally take a trade, literally sit there and ask yourself, am I going to do everything to my best ability right now? Or am I going to make emotional decisions? Do I feel emotional today? How do I feel? So before you take the trade, make that decision already. And after, just put a note that during the trade, I felt that I was, you know, feeling greedy or because of this, because of that, right? You journal that. You journal what happened. You don't set barriers afterwards, right? Look at this flip. I was talking about, remember what I said like 2 minutes ago, how this could just create the resistance here? No structure and no close above. It's typical to see that. And we just form a range. Let me go change the AC, guys. Give me a second. All right. Then I have to stick to my word. Yeah, but you can do that through simplicity is going to be key. Because if you can't do something simple, you're not going to do it. You're going to lose motivation to do it. Look, like whenever you take a losing trade, I have a specific method, right? And I drew this method right here. I call this method the AAA strategy. The AAA strategy. So whenever you lose a trade, I use the AAA strategy. What is the AAA strategy? This AAA strategy is, first, when you take a losing trade, you need to accept. You need to accept the fact that that's happened. You already budgeted it before you take in the trade. Spend time accepting. Feel the emotions of frustration. Feel the emotions. Just accept. The second step, the next A, is going to be to analyze. Stop doing any reaction. it's AAA, right? A is always the best. So the next thing you have to do is you have to analyze. Analyze what happened in the situation. Were you wrong? Were you right? Is there anything that could have been different? What can you do in this type of situation? Analyze. That's going to stop you from making reactions on the market, stop you from FOMOing back in, stop you from doing anything stupid. The last thing is going to be to amend. If there's anything that needed to be fixed in that position, you need to amend it with the last A to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. The same thing can happen when you take a win. You can analyze the situation, why you won today. Well, first you need to accept the situation you won. Don't feel overexcited, just feel good. Accept that you won, analyze why you won, and amend anything that you notice that you should be doing more of. Hey, I should be waiting more for top and bottom wicks, etc., etc. And that is the AAA strategy, right? So it's powerful. So you can write that down, AAA strategy. Harry, ban Profit Pursuit. He's talking shit about you. Let him talk shit about me, bro. Let him talk shit about me. He's speaking Hindi. What is he saying in Hindi? I want to know. All right, so this failed. Good to see. Now, what's very interesting, I want everyone to note this, is we never tapped that 4 hour. Now we tap the 4 hour. So now we need to see, is there reaction? I know now buys are going to come above 95.50. If we get below, is there continuation? Right? Continuation down to this 4 hour for sells. He is telling, first take a shit and come back. As I don't see anything wrong with that. All right, gold pushing through the ranges here. Let's see what type of damage we want to do on gold. He said mother came after doing tatti. He is tatti. He is one big tatti. Alright, check this reaction here from the 4 hour. Look at, if we get above here, this is buys. Looking for buys above this here now. 195.30 buys. First he was asking if you know what chutia is. I know he's chutia, one big chutia, this guy. Randi Kabacha also. Double. Double I'll give him, double. Have to have some fun first. We have to have some fun first. Can you show me what that previous 4 hour support is? I'm guessing on GJ. This is this one, the top of that range. So we can have reaction, we could push through, no problems today. We'll see, but it's definitely a zone we need to consider. If this candle closed below this area here, we could wick fill sell, but we didn't close below, we closed at. Again, I don't think stop loss would be worth it here anyways. Vastly different on Oanda. I'm just gonna check broker. Yeah, it's the same on my broker, that kind of mess. So I guess it's really nothing. But we did see it react off it, which was interesting. We did see it react off it, which was interesting. How could we take in that buy on gold when it created support? I think today bias was bearish, right? Previous daily closed bearish, previous 4 hour also closed bearish. So taking a buy today would be counter session bias. My rules to take counter session bias trades is I need break of second structures. So I need price to form a higher low. Basically shift from a downtrend to an uptrend. We're still in a downtrend here. This could still be a lower high to continue down bearish, right? Keep that in mind. Harry, can you please say happy birthday to my best friend? It will make his day. Well, happy birthday to your friend, man. I don't trust that that name is after what we've just had in chat. I believe that name is probably a swear word. I believe that name is a swear word, so I'm gonna be careful, but happiest birthday to him. If he's listening in, you can play this to him. You can play that. Waiting for setup 2 on gold? Yeah, it would be an option here for sure. If we want to just keep continuing up today on gold, then we'll have to see what damage we can do with that. See how GU has fared. See, GU also faked out here. Again, GU has no ranges to really trade. It's being tough. Knowing not to trade is a skill, Harry. It is knowing when not to trade is a skill, and that skill is difficult to execute but easy to understand, right? So knowing when not to trade technically wise is the most basic way to know that is when there isn't a setup. When there isn't a setup, don't take a trade. Very simple. But understand the only time it becomes complex is certain market conditions or spots in the market, but that's more advanced. Like the amount that will happen, yeah, at my level it matters, because you know, especially when you start high stakes and you're risking a lot, it matters. But as a beginner, it's not going to be enough to put you downhill, if that makes sense. Look, we're approaching this zone now. If we can get resistance from these zones, this is where the sells would come through. 1 hour about to close in 6 minutes. I don't like selling against the 1 hour bearish bullish close, but we'll see how price forms. I want to see how DAX is doing as well. Have a checkup on it. Make sure it has its daily medical checkup. So far I can see it looking very strong, but hasn't breached the all-time high yet. If it does and I miss it, let me know. Guys, Harry gives unusual opportunities to trade wisely, gain money, which something special you can't find like this anywhere else. So thank him, wish him the best, and please be kind to him. Oh, I appreciate that message, man. That's quite kind of you. And yeah, this is what we try offer. You get, I mean, it's a lot. We get, yeah, it is a lot of value here, but I really do hope it helps the trading industry, and everyone watching here can gain value, gain pips, and gain you know, overall how it is to be a trader, regardless of hard times, good times, slow times. It's just going to be, you know, how things work here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Have ever tried setup 2 Fibo before? Fibonacci is, I can tell you exactly. Look, if I take from, let me show you this. If I take from here to here, the 0.5 level will be this structural point here. Watch, okay? Watch. This is the 0.5 to 0.68. Watch, ready? Let's go take Fibonacci, drag it from high to low. Oh, 0.5 to 0.68, directly at that structural level. How the hell did I know that? And if we make it a little bit more accurate, you can see it's literally there. Whoa, how did I know that? Structure. And you find that actually Fibonacci levels revolve around structure. So I don't need to have that. How do you deal with huge losing streaks and drawdown? Drawdown's normal, right? Losing streaks is not normal. You shouldn't go into a losing streak more than, I would say, as a beginner, 4 trades, 5 trades. But at my level, if I'm in a 3 trade losing streak, I need to go analyze what the hell's going on. Something has changed. I need to adapt. I need to look for what I have done and then realize. But you have to understand, at my level, it needs to be a 3 trade losing streak from following my plan 100%. Because if I broke my plan, that doesn't count as a loss. So you'll find most beginners actually end up in a losing streak because not all of those losses were from following a plan. The losses become from going outside of the plan. So if you look at how many trades were actually lost exactly following the plan, it's pretty low. It's pretty low. Knife Catcher Crypto just subscribe. Appreciate the subscription, man. Appreciate the subscription. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so. I would appreciate it. London Open here in 3 minutes. If this pushes through all-time high at London Open, that sucks. You can't really trade London Open on DAX. It's too volatile. Big whipsaws. But after London, it's like market open on US 30. Market open on US 30 and all of this stuff. So hopefully we can chill. Hopefully London gives liquidity grab and then closes above would be nice. Gold needs to create resistance. We'll wait for that. GJ, I have the plan on the screen for GJ. Hi, what's the most similar pairs to GJ to trade? Thank you. Ooh, it's an interesting question. I'm not sure what's the most similar pair to trade compared to GJ. I don't think anything is quite like GJ. It's very unique. GJ is very, very unique. UJ? Even UJ is different than GJ. GJ is just completely different. I mean, all Japanese yen pairs are going to be somewhat similar, right? EJ, UJ, all the yen pairs. But GJ itself is super interesting pair. GJ itself is a super interesting pair. Alright, London Open here in 40 seconds. I know you're bullish, but there's still possibility for me for sells. I'm looking at this 1 hour close. If we can close below the line here, you just don't have much risk to reward. So you need to go with a very aggressive approach. You weren't here when we were doing it, but literally look to break the low, get continuation, stop loss above current candle high, wherever the top wick is made. It's only a 7-6 pip range, man. Do some measuring. It's not the best range. We ideally want pullbacks to sell. As long as it stays below 195, pullbacks for sells make sense. You know, but do some measuring. You'll find out, hey, it's not the biggest ranges as I expected. So we'd really need risk to reward to, you know, to make sense here. We did close the below nevertheless. See how 1 hour looks. Oh, it's already gone. That was fast, boys. That was fast. Anyone managed to get in that in time? I was not prepared for that. I wanted slightly bigger. $13 pips, 11 pips. Interesting. Yeah, this is typical during open to see this. Now we need. I was scratching my balls. I was setting my lots. Yeah, it was very fast. I really wanted to see nice top wick selling these lows. Range is not that big. But I see the vision here. Nipple top wick on GJ? Yeah, it had a wick. No, it definitely had a wick, but I was just literally waiting for a little bit more, it being hour open. You know, especially on London open timing, you know. Gold had good 1 hour close already at 2050 key level. It is, yes. Spread would have fucked us over. I don't know if you can press the button fast enough. You would have been triggered somewhere here, but luckily it still went in profit. So worst case scenario is you're just sitting at break even right now, hoping for it to continue down. That's worst case scenario. I believe your entry would have been something, unless you sell stopped it, your entry would be somewhere here. Remember, that's only like 1 pip. 2.2 pips, so yeah, something like that. If you're on funded challenge, oh, good luck. Good luck. You probably would have been entered down here. Entered down here, man. But again, you could just sit at break even and just see if volume comes through here, which it looks like it is. Was anyone fast enough to get in or what? I want to know, like, if someone was there ready. Were you guys fast enough or no? Was it that fast? At this moment, I had my finger on the trigger. I caught it. Oh, nice. Where did you get triggered, though? Let's see. What do you call your strategy? King Harry concepts? I just call it price action trading with Harry. Had my finger hovered over the sell button, hesitated for a second. I didn't even have my phone in hand. I was literally going to say, yeah, top wick is here. I'm going to place a sell stop at the low and then was going to take it. But all right then. As long as we respect this, we could still continue down here. I got in rapid 9 pips. Nice. Yeah, resistance on gold is almost forming here. You have this previous range we closed back in. We tested key level right now. Would like to see it close back outside the range, which if this candle is to close somewhat bearish, it would have to do it anyways. 1.52 pips from breaking lows. Damn. Did you secure or are you still holding? So even if you were fully ready, still 2 pips below entry. It's interesting to see that. How much is 2 pips from entry? Somewhere here. Sheesh. It looks big on. Didn't secure. I'm stop loss on current candle high. All right. So if this flips 6 pips, so you basically halved your stop loss. Yeah. On this 1 hour candle close, I think I'll have a buy stop at 194.722. Buy stop 194.722. 722. Well, I don't know what makes you have a buy stop there. I don't know what your plan is, but if you have a plan, then by all means. I'm kicking it in demo. I tried prop firm simulation FTMO pass using Harry's strategy. I was a grasshopper until I met Harry. We'll master it more. Hopefully by December, I'll take a real challenge. Let's go. I'd say take a challenge. To be honest, if you're going to take a challenge, I know it sounds rushed, but I would say to take a challenge now. The reason I'm saying that, by December, price action starts to calm down. We're getting towards the end of the year, and then we have so many holidays. Basically, you can't trade for like 10 days, right? We have the day before Christmas, then Christmas Day, then Boxing Day, then New Year's, then post-New Year's, pre-New Year's. It's like, you know, that's already 7 days. Plus the days in between where price, and then it's a New Year's, and then the first week is the first week of the yearly candle. Price action is just being developed, etc., etc. You know? So yeah. I love your rubber band analysis on Wix. Oh, that's cool. Glad you like that. Out on spread. You mean stopped out on spread? I thought we account for spread always. I think you would have been out anyways though, so don't have to feel bad. It would be shitty if it flipped. If I count was said, but then SL was much higher. But yeah, you have to though, right? Because that's real SL. Spread is not a real SL. Spread is your imaginary SL. Real SL is where the chart actually triggers. That's the problem. If your funded account is going to be expensive to trade, that's what you have to deal with. It's going to cost you more. So the value of which trade you take is going to change, right? Spread was abnormally high. Let me check my spreads today. Yeah, for me it's pretty good, but I don't know about funded. For me it's 0.3 to 0.6, which is pretty normal. All right, so we retested here, now flipping back up bullish here. Now it calmed. It was a very hectic move, London Open. Let's see how DAX is doing now. How is DAX doing? So you'd want to see DAX ideally create 5-minute structure. That would be ideal scenario. 50-minute candle closes above here though. Could just give you breakout wick fill. Gold looks like, unless some business happens in the next 2 minutes, looks like it'll be the next candle that has potential to reject. Are you looking for gold sells on 15? Yeah, I wouldn't mind 15-minute resistance. But high chance it's going to be next candle. Next candle would be the one. Yeah, this looks like closing above. See how DAX is doing. Can we get buys on DAX? Ooh. Wonder how you could enter this. Rocket science? Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Did 30 close above? Would that be enough? No, 30 didn't close above. So what did we get close above? Did we even get a 5 closing above? No. So I guess now 5-minute structure the only way to get in right now. Or 1 minute was the way. Yeah, I saw 1 hour closed above. I think London is going to be fairly quiet until we get the UK budget speech at the end of the month. Not always, not always. But for the GBP, yes. The GBP, it can impact it for sure, the GBP. All right, gold resistance potentially coming through here. 15-minute close bullish. So 14 minutes here. Can I have gold resistance? See what GJ did. GJ closed Doji. 5 minutes still respecting that zone. Come on, gold, give us a setup too. Yeah, not only do we want it to give us a setup too, we want it to give us a winning setup too. That's what we want. You have too many pairs? I don't have too many pairs. I have two main pairs. Gold and GJ are my main pairs. I have one backup pair for London, which is GBP USD. And in terms of indices, if you're looking at indices, then in London, I'll look at DAX. That's the only indices that makes sense for me to look at London. And in New York, US 30 is the indice I prefer for indices. But my main pairs are gold and GJ, and then two backup pairs. Pretty normal. At the end of the day, you have to be a trader, right? Do you take pre-workout? I take just a coffee, man. Just a black coffee. Keep it simple. Just a black coffee. Does the FTSE not interest you during London session? FTSE is also very valid to trade if you're looking at indices, yes. FTSE would be totally fine, but then it's too many pairs because, you know, I don't want to be trading 1,000 things. Will the FTSE comes to Pip Labs? Yes, FTSE is coming to Pip Labs probably in a week. We're launching a whole version 4 of Pip Labs. We're launching a whole version 4 of Pip Labs, so it's gonna have major updates. So instead of rolling out small updates that cannot be carried over, we're just making a whole new version. This is a lot more efficient in terms of money, in terms of time, and in terms of scalability, because there's no point of scaling something that's gonna have barriers in the future, right? Otherwise you'll scale it, put so much work, spend so much money doing that just to restart it again. By this week, we will have some of our guys who want to volunteer to test out version 4 for us. Test out version 4, let us know how they like it. So if you're interested in that, you're an existing member of Pip Labs, let me know. Harry, how do I avoid mistakes that I do again and again? You have to find the trigger. What triggers those mistakes? There's a trigger. There's something that causes you to make that mistake. Once you find the trigger, you replace, right? So there's obviously a trigger and then a reaction. Trigger is waiting for a setup for a long time. Reaction, FOMO trading. So if you find that the trigger is waiting and the action is FOMO trading, replace that with something. Replace the reward with something. So if you're waiting a long time for a setup, find the time that you find yourself and leave the charts. That's one way. Secondly, if you actively know that in your mind, you're going to tell yourself, fine, if I'm waiting longer for a setup, I have to make sure that I read my plan before actually taking, like you take an extra step before taking the setup. I mean, that's a lot of free juice for you guys right there. That's some really good information. Whole new version explained by Antonio will be quiet recently. I can help do some V4 testing if you need. Yeah, for sure. We'll put you on it, man. I mean, it's not going to be like V3 where it's full of bugs because it's a carryover. We have the, you know, everything is good. It's not like it's a whole new system, but just stuff maybe people don't like where things are put in place, or maybe something, you know, it's just overall testing, or something is not hooked up properly. Is the group open, bro? Group will open on the 18th. It's on my website. Just go to my website and you'll be able to see when the group opens. Opens on 18th. If you join the waitlist, I'm, as I always do, only 10 spots as usual. Keep it tight knit. But yeah, we haven't opened it for, I think, about 3 weeks coming up to this. I think when we open it will be the 3rd week. So yeah, you'll be welcome in and you'll get access to everything. Before someone asks me, hey, what does the group involve? Literally, it involves everything. It involves everything, all my content, everything. Check out the website so I don't have to repeat myself to people who watch the stream commonly, right? I'll put that in for you in chat and you can have a look. There you go. You can have a look. All right, this candle's still pushing up here. GJ trying to make up its mind whether it wants to consolidate here now before trying later to continue up. I feel like NY will give an interesting move here. If NY leaves 95.30, I feel like we can see some upside. This 4-hour close will be very important whether we respect this structure. 600 is going to be a very important level. But yeah, GJ just know. See, GJ last year used to be very continuous asset, meaning whenever we get stuck in a range like this on GJ, it used to mess people up in the past, and you just had to be patient, which we are patient. But the time we get the breakout, everyone is scared to trade the breakout, but then it pushes like a horse. These days we're not getting those pushes. You can see it landed in coming back inside the range here. So that's really interesting to see that difference in price. How to never stop learning in trading without not tweaking our systems, rather grow as a trader. You don't need to tweak the systems, you can add, right? So you're not changing what's been working, but you're saying, hey, how can I treat this situation? So you need to find a problem and then create a solution for that problem. If there's no problem, then you don't change anything. You only change something when there's a problem. That's how it works in trading. So whenever there's a problem, you find a solution to fix it. If there's no problem, you don't fix it. You don't fix it. Harry, what do you think can be a problem if you're good when you're backtesting but not good in live market? Means that you're not doing what you did in backtesting in live market. For sure. You're taking more emotional setups. You're not trading it properly. You're doing all of these things different. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Especially if it's drastically different. Small differences, yeah, depends what date you're backtesting, depends what, you know, all of that stuff will play a role. If you're obviously backtesting an easy month and you're trading a difficult month, it'll be different. It'll be different. Cheers, Dave. Take care. Yeah, this candle looks like it's going to continue to close bullish here on gold. So you need to wait a little bit for gold. Now that we're closing 2-3 candles inside of the range, you need price to do what? You need price to close back outside this range. So below 2648 is going to be your sell option here. GJ is deciding if it wants to bounce off this zone right now. Are you guys able to trade GJ during Asian? Yeah, you can trade GJ during Asian. 2 people took trades during Asian. We had yesterday, Luis took, Claudio took trades during Asian. Depends if you're up. Depends if you're up. Has to fit your schedule, of course. And then make sure to watch in the WAP content this video. This is gonna explain to you how to, let me show you here, how to trade Asian. If it can load, please, sir. Thank you. So in this WAP content in the group, if you go down, I put it here in fundamental advanced concept, how to trade Asian session plus Asian ranges. This is going to be very important to teach you how to trade Asian session. This is going to show you the slight differences of what you have to do with stop loss, what you have to do if you are trading Asian. Hi, are you trading a DAX on IC as well? My broker for Forex has low liquidity and jumping spread for DAX. I mean, yeah, IC will have good markets, not good markets, good liquidity for DAX for sure. For sure. Check GU, what's going on with GU? Yeah, GU is still in this range, guys. You really need to understand when something's in a range like this, just let it be in its range. Don't try to do anything crazy here. You know, it's a very shitty place to be trading in. So much inconsistencies. Like, let it get out the range and then enjoy the fruits of that. Trade different pairs in the meantime. $15-minute close here. Let's see how DAX is close. Setup 3 here on DAX. 5-minute closing doji. I think you could have a continuation play here. Quite nice continuation play with either 5-minute candle closes above here, or being more aggressive. I would say if you take the setup 3 right now, you'd need break of highest high here. Something around, at least to, because something that DAX can do is grab liquidity here and fail. And then London actually pulls back. If you look at yesterday, London did something similar, right? So you want to be careful of that you're not caught in a liquidity grab. So allowing it to break the high with a little bit of room is going to be warranted here. Now, if you get the close above, it's going to be a lot better. A lot better. Okay, DAX broke the high now. Should be able to continue up. Let's see how 1 minute's looking. Yeah, I feel you get 1 minute close above here, should be good. That'll be your continuation move, which looks highly likely. 1 minute's about to close above. Yeah, that's what I would have taken on DAX here. To be an all-time high breakout. Especially if you can break the high. DAX 5 minute, yeah, you'd need the 5 minute closing above as well. Isn't the German economy in a recession? Why do we have all-time highs on DAX? Because if you look at the euro, euro is going down. Euro is going down. So people do not want to be holding the euro. They do not want to be holding the euro. So where do they put their money instead? They put their money inside of their equities, right? To try keep it safe. So if you look at the euro, right? Look at the 4 hour, how it's been. You can see it's had a lot of weakness. A lot of weakness has been coming into the euro here. You know, so that's how it works. Same thing with the yen strength coming through here, right? We're seeing yen strength come through. Can you look at gold 30-minute time frame? What do you want to see on 30-minute? What do you want to see on 30-minute? There's your 30-minute. I would say, look, again, if you start to get below there, it would make sense. It would make sense to start selling now that you've grabbed all liquidity from all these highs. You see? If it starts to get below, that's where the sells would make sense. Is German 30 same as German 14 on FTMO? Yes, they would be the same. They would be the same. DAX break up 5-minute high. Very valid. Yeah, it's valid. Nice. I'm gonna close half of my DAX here. Yeah, I took half of my DAX there. I'm gonna leave a runner on this. A little bit less than half, to be honest. And I'll allow myself to have stop loss below the range here. Because even if this loses, I won't lose because of how much I've secured. You buying DAX? I already bought DAX already when I put the position. Sniper close. It's like they're listening when I secured. Nice. See if we can get the rest. What should we target? I think I'm targeting 1-to-1 for now. 5-minute candle close here. And then leaving a runner would actually not be a bad idea here, guys. You know, it's all-time high. You could get heavy push. But yesterday, London, we saw a big reversal. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Since we're at all-time high, you know, you could look to secure something and leave runners is very good here. Especially if it breaks 1-minute lows or something. Scale out of the position is going to be strong to scale out. Are you in a position? Yes. Indices move on big numbers? They do move on big numbers. Yeah, at all-time highs, you want to be scaling out, in my opinion, as you don't know how deep pullbacks, but at the same time, it's opportunity for this to keep on going. So you're protected both ways by somewhat scaling out. You're protected both ways. I don't mean to offend you or anything. Can you change the background music? Because I might fall asleep. No, you're not offending me, man. You're not offending me. Don't worry about that. See how this price reacts off here? We did close 40% up there. If you haven't, then you should be break even. And then that would be you out. You know, would be safer opinion. Option, sorry. Safer option. And that would be it. That's why it's important to scale out. Very important, that 40% close, the difference between you getting paid and not getting paid today. The difference between you getting paid and not getting paid. So it teaches you a lesson. Be greedy at all-time high, but don't be very greedy, right? Very important lesson. Let's see. If I hit the remainder of my position, I will make... not the best, 0.19%. It's not that bad, but we're still in. What's that? 40% at 120 pips. And we're still holding the rest. There we go. Have you got full out? No, based on my SL, no. I got 40% out so far. I'm contemplating just to take the 0.4% today, but runner is a runner, I guess. I'm happy to take 0.2 if that's gonna be it. Let's put this in here. Man, first one on stream, huh? Little one, started off. We'll put this as, it's actually 120 points, but set up one. Rest is running here, which is good. $11.30. Where you place SL because it looks break even? Well, since I close 40%, even if this does hit down here where my SL is, I won't lose this trade. But now 1 minute is forming head and shoulders. I don't really like when 1 minute does that. So I might just close out here. I might just close out here if we break below this support here. And save myself a couple of more. End up making, if I lose this down here, I make 0.19%, 0.2. Will not lose, but you know, get the rest out. If it respects it, then yeah, whatever the runner runs. But that's why scaling out is powerful as well, because you can be super relaxed here instead of making nothing, right? Yeah, that's remainder out, so 0.2%. Spread got there. So yeah, happy with that overall. Securing was key. Not the biggest win, but I mean, better than nothing. We'll take it. We'll take anything we get. First live DAX is it's a small one, but I think I played the situation here very well. Reason I played the situation very well is because if I didn't secure anything, I make nothing. So I rather make something than nothing. Even though I think that this can still continue up, but then I can just find another entry later. So I'm happy with that overall. We broke it down, waiting for setup 3 here, plus 5 minute, breaking high. Pretty straightforward. Gave a nice push. If we went aggressive stop loss, maybe just something back inside the range, yeah, that would have given 1-to-1. But yeah, that's the trade, boys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And that's how we manage it, right? That's how we manage it. Small gain, but nevertheless, better than nothing. Thinking how I could have made that more profitable. Should I have just closed full? But to be honest, the opportunity of all-time high breakout, I don't think closing full would be smart as well. So I don't think I could have maximized. So the way that I trade is that now I look at my position and say, is there a way I could have made more money today? That's the stage I want you guys to get to, looking at your position, seeing if you could have made more money, right? So yeah. That's my trade today, guys. Congrats to everyone who understood. Let me see in chat if you understood the position today on DAX. Setup 1, pretty classic. Nothing really was happening in the Forex side, so I didn't do much here. I didn't do much. GJ is now trying to make its way back up to our buying zone, so buys could be something that actually comes into play here. Yeah, something that comes into play. So yeah, this is definitely interesting to see what GJ will do. Gold didn't come down to create our resistance. We are creating a resistance, but not one. So that's how it is. That's how it is. So that's what I'm looking for. And we'll see if I can hold maybe an intraday GJ position, especially if GJ can change structure right now. If we can get a change of structure on GJ, what I mean is if price comes down, rejects, and then closes above, stop loss below here, intraday position, try to get out of this range. And that's it. So appreciate everyone showing up. And yeah, happy you guys got to see how we operate. Take care. I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's stream. Congrats to everyone who caught. I know many people don't trade DAX as well, but it's a good learning opportunity, right? Good learning opportunity. And I hope you guys found something useful. So appreciate you all. Take care and peace. See you guys tomorrow.